Hello and welcome to the Vinyl Sanctuary. My name is Christian and I hope that you will join me in taking refuge in records. So I'm here today with part 4 of my All My Colours series, which sees me looking at all the albums in my vinyl collection which have got a colour in the title, or in some cases they've had a couple of colours in the title, not many, but at least one colour. So yeah, unbelievably, I'm up to part 4. Doesn't seem like 5 minutes ago since I started to do this series, so I think I've motored through it pretty quickly. It would appear from my end anyway. So before I get started with part 4, I just want to thank everybody who has joined me to date to view the series and to comment and highlight their favourite picks to me as well, and share with me albums with colours in the title that they've enjoyed or had in the collection for many years, or in some cases as well, planning to get a hold of. So yeah, it's been really enjoyable putting it together. So what I'll do, just in case you're new to the channel or you've stumbled across this video in isolation, I will pop links to parts 1 to 3 of the series in the description box to this video that you're watching now. And in those parts, I'll see if I can remember them now off the top of my head in the moment on camera. Part 1, I covered the colours brown, grey and black. Part 2 saw me looking at cream and white. Part 3 was silver and gold. And yeah, now we're up to part 4. So the colours that we're going to be looking at today, in keeping with the famous song Sing a Rainbow, which was, I think it was recorded by Peggy Lee back in the day. We're looking at the colours red, yellow, pink and green for part 4. And this video, or this series rather, was recorded at the request of Jessie, who's a very dear friend of mine, a person that's been subscribed to the Vinyl Sanctuary, I believe, for quite some time now, is a regular viewer and contributor. So thanks again, Jessie, for giving me such a great idea to run with. It's been a lot of fun, and I hope that you, along with everybody else tuning in, enjoys what I'm about to show you. So there's only 11 albums here today in my red, yellow, pink and green portion of my collection, but I feel that there are some absolute crackers here, at least a few of my all-time favourites, to be fair. So I am keen to get into it, and we'll see what pops into my head as I go along. So yeah, usual process, I'll just hold up the album, talk a little bit about them, and then move on. So sit back everybody, enjoy, relax, and let me know when we get to the end of the video what you think of what I had to show. Okay, so kicking us off today, we've got the most famous group here of all time, group from Liverpool, not too far at all away from where I'm based. I'm in Cheshire, in a town located between Liverpool and Manchester, but these guys need no introduction whatsoever, so I'm sure you already know who I'm referring to. The album, I suppose the title doesn't technically have the colour red in there, but it's universally known as the Red Album, so it's going in there. We've got, kicking us off, the Beatles with the compilation 1962 to 1966. So we've got a very young Fab Four there. So obviously we've got Ringo, Paul, George, who's my favourite Beatle, and then John there as well, sporting very cheeky grins. So yeah, great way to kick us off, and then we turn it over, and then we've got they're not quite as fresh faced on that photograph there, are they? Got the long hair flowing, and in the case of George, Ringo and John, sporting some facial hair there as well, very effectively. Great photographs though, aren't they? So iconic. So yeah, let's get into the album, shall we? So gatefold to start with. Photograph there. Fabulous picture. Legendary photograph, that one. You can see the Beatles there amongst the crowd. And I know this is an album that I've spoken about on the channel before. And yeah, it does qualify, as I've mentioned, the Red Album. It is known as the Red Album, so very similar in the case of the White Album as well, the studio album from 1968. This obviously, of course, is a compilation. So just show you the insides here as well. Just in case anybody comes at me saying it's not technically the Red Album, I am aware of that, but, I think it's got to be included, just given that most people, I think, call it the Red Album, don't they, rather than the Beatles 1962 to 1966. A bit more of a mouthful, that one. Right, so I'll pop these away and then we'll get into favourite tracks. Because when it comes to talking about the Beatles, there's many people who've done it for a lot longer than I have and have done it a lot better than I have. So I will just stick to mentioning the favourite tracks on here. And there are some absolute stunners. This is a period of the Beatles that I love. I mean, I love all periods of the Beatles, but when they were back in the day, just cranking out these, highly charged pop rock songs. Really, they've got that just that wonderful backbeat to them. Great instrumentation throughout. Just genius songwriting by Lennon and McCartney throughout on this one. I do love the later period stuff as well. When they went psychedelic and started taking on influences from around the globe, and their experimentation was going through the roof. But if you just want straight up, just absolutely glorious 60s pop rock, however you want to categorize it, you really can't go wrong with the Beatles. You just can't. So but let's pick a few favourite tracks off each side. It's a 2 LP one, this one. It is spanning 4 years, so there's a lot of material on here, and yeah, pretty much love everything, but I'll try and name a few off each side. So let me see, what do I love on side one? I do love She Loves You, I Want to Hold Your Hand, Please Please Me. Yeah, I've got to go for Please Please Me. I do love that one. Just because as well, in later years, it reminds me of Go All The Way by the Raspberries, who certainly lifted, shall we say, some of the melody from Please Please Me for their absolutely amazing power pop song Go All The Way, which I believe was a million seller. I'm pretty sure it was. It was the come on refrain of Please Please Me, which the Raspberries used to brilliant effect in their own song. Side two, I've got to mention Ticket to Ride. I've always adored Ticket to Ride. Yesterday, obviously, is Yesterday. Just a landmark recording, simple as that. And I do love A Hard Day's Night as well. It's got to be the most iconic single chord, riff intro in history. That chord, nothing quite like it. Side three, oh wow, Norwegian Wood. Always loved Norwegian Wood. Beautiful song, that one. Heard so many great covers of that over the years as well. One of my favourites actually being the group PM Dawn, who I'm a big fan of. Did a cover of Norwegian Wood, which is beautiful actually. So I would encourage people to check out that cover of Norwegian Wood, but do check out the original as well if you've not heard it for a while. Always loved Day Tripper. Great guitar riff on that. Absolutely superb song, that one. Love the crashing of Ringo's drums on that one as well. And to name another one, so we got Help on there. You got Hide Your Love Away, We Can Work It Out. It's going to have to be Help on that one. Yeah, but they're all great. That's the beauty of the Beatles. Side four, well, I better give Michelle a nod there. My wife, Michelle. I better mention that one. It is a great song, but I'll name that more in reference and tribute to her. Nowhere Man, I do love very much, which kicks side four off. Paperback Writer is absolutely brilliant. I'm definitely mentioning that one. I Adore In My Life as well, but the other one I want to particularly reference on side four is Eleanor Rigby. Stunner, absolutely stunning song. One of my favourite McCartney compositions. Just love the string arrangement on it. Just a beautiful piece of music. Love the lyrics of it. Tremendous. So yeah, I mean, what a great way to kick off part four of our All My Colours series with the colour red. So there aren't many reds actually to show, believe it or not, for this particular section of my part, but that's a great way to kick it off. So we've got the Beatles there with the Red Album. Okay, so moving on, we've got one of my all-time favourite recording artists. This is a very recent acquisition, this one, and I am completely over the moon to have it. I truly am. It's a beautiful copy. It's a beautiful album. I love the artwork on it, and it's very apt, given that, again, we're talking about colours for the series, that there is just an absolutely glorious palette of colours on this artwork, and that appears to be the case on a good few others as well, which we're to get to. So came out in 1993. Just an amazing instrumentalist, singer, songwriter. Love her to bits. We've got Kate Bush with The Red Shoes. Glorious album, glorious. As soon as I acquired it, I gave it a spin, and it was just a lovely, lovely opportunity to hear it on vinyl. I had it on CD back in the day. I did, along with many other Kate Bush albums as well. But I've got it now on the vinyl, and I'm so pleased about that. As I said, over the moon, and as you can see, I'm just referring there to all those beautiful colours. Look at that, all that fruit there. Just a stunning photograph. Just the way that it's been composed. You know, the way that the colours have been arranged, all the various fruits there. Just very, very exotic looking, very inviting, and just a beautiful piece of artwork to complement the cover image there. And I do believe that is Kate Bush. I do believe that's her dancing there on the front cover. Obviously, reference to the red shoes. That is an amazing film, by the way, if anybody's never seen that. Created by Powell and Pressburger. Beautiful, beautiful movie. That I've not seen it for a long time now, but my wife and I have enjoyed watching that film many times over the years. And yeah, I won't reveal the story of the red shoes in case anybody's not aware of it. But yeah, it's a great film, and this is a great album. So we'll just take it out of the sleeve there so you can see it a little bit closer. Show you the inside as well. More colours here on the back. It's got a great black and white image there. And then we've got all the lyrics and everything there as well. Yeah, stunning album from the 1990s, this one, or from any era really. So yeah, favourite songs. Well, I mean, it's got a stellar cast on it in terms of musicians. Got trying to remember now. I've got Nigel Kennedy on here, Jeff Beck, Eric Clapton, Gary Brooker from Procol Harum. We've even got the comedian Lenny Henry, a very famous comedian over here in the UK, singing backing vocals on a track by an artist who worked with Kate Bush on that song. Deliberately left him to the end because he's my favourite artist of all time. We've got the one and only Prince on here as well. So Lenny Henry, I believe, sings backing vocals on the track Why Should I Love You, which is a composition co-written between Kate Bush and Prince. Prince plays on that track as well, and it is very much in keeping with Prince's style of the time. It's a really upbeat, funky song. It's a brilliant song, in fact, a great way to inject a little bit of energy into the album towards its close. I do love the title track as well. The Red Shoes on here is beautiful, but I absolutely love, in particular, side one of this record. Rubber Band Girl is such an excellent pop number. Very quirky. It's just got this really kind of almost clattery kind of arrangement to it, but also very smooth at the same time. It's kind of difficult to describe. It's not like jarring musically or anything, far from it, but there is just this really kind of slightly skewed, off kilter vibe to it, which is so it's quite an eccentric song, I would say, in a way. It's probably the best way I could describe it, but I would just encourage you to go and listen to it. But as an opener, it's just so infectious, it's just bouncy, and it does kind of bring to mind the idea of elastic bands and rubber bands. It has got an elasticity to it, which I just think works so well. And Kate Bush's vocals on it, as always, sound amazing. I love Eat the Music as well. That's a great track, and I'll also mention on here from side one as a favourite track, Moments of Pleasure. But this is a really strong album throughout. I don't dislike any tracks on it at all. I'd say that it's probably my joint second favourite Kate Bush album. I'd say at the moment I've probably got it tied with The Sensual World, and then House of Love would be, and I'm sure will always remain, my number one favourite ever Kate Bush album. I mean, that is a masterpiece, that record. Came out in 1985, but this here from 93, a truly superb effort, and as I've mentioned, just very happy indeed to now have a copy of it on vinyl. It'll be a very cherished part of my collection. So delighted to be able to show you that entry there for the colour red, The Red Shoes by Kate Bush. If anybody does go on to listen to that album based upon my recommendations, then please do let me know how you get on with it. Okay, so that's colour red. Let's see what we've got here coming up. So we should have now, I think this is, I think we've got red here. Then let me see. Just going to check these through here and make sure that they're in the correct order. I think I might have gone with them alphabetically rather than by colour, so bear with me, by artist. So let's see, so we have got the two reds there, that's fine. We've got red there. I want to make sure I do everything properly, you see. Okay. There's my yellow. No prizes for guessing what that one is. I have only got one yellow to show. Okay, then let's see what pink we've got. Yeah, we've got a few pinks there, which is great. See how we get on there. Things have got to be done correctly, haven't they? Okay. Oh yeah, we have got another red to show. And there's another pink there as well. Just as well spotted it now and sorted it. And then it's all ready to go. Yeah, they should be at the bottom. There we go. Right. So there you go, you see. You're getting it all authentically done in front of you. So hopefully this will just all add to the suspense of it. Yeah, we're all in order now. Great stuff. Threw myself off. I'm not used to doing everything in alphabetical order all the time. I put them all there ready to go in alphabetical order, but then didn't do them by the actual colours to be in line with the song. I could have just shown them all in one big go, but it wouldn't have been as fun to do it like that. I want to do them red, yellow, pink, and green. So we're all set now. There you go. Little bit of an intermission for you there. Probably need it given how long my videos are. So, okay, let's move on. So we're all in order. So coming up now, we've got a brilliant album from 1974. This is just it's an absolute cracker. I do need to be in the mood to listen to it. It's very complex, it's very cerebral, but it's very rewarding as well. I find that about this group in general, to be fair. The few albums that I do own by them, every time I play them and listen to them, I'm really into it. I love what I'm hearing. I love how they sound, how powerful and dynamic the music is, how beautifully played it is as well. But I just have to be in the mood for it. And sometimes if I'm just reaching or feeling like I want to listen to something that seems a little bit more, should we say, maybe not as overwhelming or not as demanding, then sometimes, unfortunately, I might tend to overlook this group when I'm wanting to pull a record out to play. But, I have listened to it a couple of times since owning it, and I am very much in awe of it. So we've got here now coming up, and I love the artwork as well, great photograph. We've got Red by King Crimson. So got John Wetton here, bassist and vocalist, got Bill Bruford here, drums, and then of course the one and only Robert Fripp, absolute master on the guitar. My hype sticker here says it's an original stereo mix, the 1974 classic, newly cut from masters, approved by Robert Fripp, and it is on 200-gram super heavyweight vinyl. And then there's the back as well. So yeah, just simply called Red. And then we've got just the plain black in the sleeve. Don't think there's any bits and pieces in there, any lyric sheets or anything there. No. So this is this is just a huge landmark album in terms of, in the world of prog. But then it's also gone on to influence a lot of groups that you would one would probably categorise as being post-rock and math rock. So, the likes of groups like Slint, for instance, I'm sure, from a percussive element, dynamics of guitar, use of quiet and loud, that sort of thing, and just the very complicated time signatures. I think groups like Slint, maybe even Mogwai as well, have perhaps taken cues from King Crimson and maybe from this album. For what it's worth, for anybody who may or may not be interested in this particular tidbit, but it was a favourite album of Kurt Cobain of Nirvana. He did love this album very much as well. And yeah, it's an absolute epic. It's not got many tracks on it, but that is often the way with King Crimson. The title track, side one, track one, Red, is absolutely incredible. I love Fallen Angel as well. It's sort of strange to only pick a few tracks off this, given that there's only 5 to pick from. I usually pick 3 favourite tracks, but I would say that side 2 in particular on this is stupendous. It's brilliant all the way through, but we've got Providence on side 2, which is just over 8 minutes long, and then we've got Starless, which is just over 12 minutes long. as well. So if you want a record that, as I said, is taxing but also really rewarding, if you're just feeling like you want to listen to something that's quite pounding, heavy, I mean, it sounds incredible as well, this pressing of it, then please do give it a listen. I mean, I'm sure for people tuning into me that are into the prog and, into the classic rock, this is, like, I'm sure, a staple perhaps of their collection. But if anybody's maybe new to this band or are just thinking of checking them out, then let me know if what I've had to say about this record has piqued your interest to give it a try. It is only my opinion, of course, that it's more of a mood one for me. I mean, some people could happily listen to this thing, all day, every day, and many times over. But for me, it's one I go back to every now and again. I like to give myself a bit of time away from it, and then when I come back, it's almost to a point like rediscovering it again. But there are a couple of tracks that do really stick in my head from a musical perspective, with Red certainly being one of them, the title track. And I just continue to be in awe of the guitar playing of Robert Fripp. I mean, I'm a guitar player myself, and some of the things that he's doing on the instrument are just incredible. But Wetton and Bruford as well in support are amazing at their instruments too. So it's it's a real achievement, that one, and I do think it appears to be an album that continues to rise and rise in stock and critical acclaim as the years go on. I mean, it's over 50 years old now, but it still sounds incredible. So there we go. We've got Red there by King Crimson. Okay. So now we are on to our last Red entry for the video. So this is a group that I'm just going to be really, really honest about it, as I always am on the channel. I'm not the biggest fan in the world of them. I absolutely adore their debut album, which I think is a genuine post-punk classic. It's one that I have really grown to love and appreciate over the years, and for me now, personally, it's probably my favourite album of theirs that they've ever done. So I have got this record because I do really, really enjoy it a lot. I listened to it quite a lot when I was younger, as a couple of my family members were huge on this group. In particular, my brother-in-law's family. They were really into this band, continue to be to this day. And yeah, there's no denying the power and the quality of this recording, to be fair. And it was a record that I wanted to pick up. Whether it qualifies as an album, I think it's slightly open to debate. I've included it. I'm not sure if people would refer to it more as being an EP or a mini album, but just for full disclosure, I've included it here as an album, so I'm going for it. So coming up now, we have got U2 with Under a Blood Red Sky. So it's a live recording. This is a pretty beaten up copy, to be fair. This one, it's not going to win any prizes, this one, for condition of the year or anything. It's definitely been through the mill, this one, but it plays perfectly fine. Just a plain inner on that one. It does play perfectly fine. Be really honest and say I've not played it for a while, but it is one that I've got nice memories of. I do enjoy it. It's capturing a period of U2 as well that I really do love. And of course, that album that I was referring to, that debut of theirs, is Boy, which is it is an absolutely stunning album. That it is. It's just post-punk brilliance. Went on to influence one of my favourite ever post-punk groups, from which are the Chameleons. They were from Middleton, Manchester. So yeah, I mean, what to say about this one? Again, as I mentioned, it's only a short record. I'm going to have to mention I Will Follow from side one. Brilliant live recording of that. Superb. Just that guitar line by The Edge is one of the best guitar lines that he ever wrote. The Edge's guitar playing, obviously, but all the way through this is just incredible. But Larry Mullen Jr. and drums as well. He sounds just utterly incredible. Adam Clayton on bass, of course, great. Just keeping that beat with Mullen, and then of course you've got Bono singing over the top as well. So 11 O'Clock TikTok as well has got a great chiming guitar riff on there. Love that one to bits as well. Glory is a great way to start off, and then on side two we've got Sunday Bloody Sunday. Very powerful sound in that one. I actually prefer the version of Sunday Bloody Sunday on here than to the studio recording. The Electric Coast, Great New Year's Day, and then we've got 40 to close as well. So I've just ended up reading pretty much all of them, with it being so short. just for anybody who's interested. I'll just read a little bit of the the kind of the technical information. Let's see if it's even worth reading here, this bit. Let's have a look. Location recording courtesy of R.E.M. Rock Palast 83, WDR Television, West Germany, August the 20th, 1983. It also mentions here June the 5th, 1983. Got Denver mentioned there. Mobile Facility Denver Co. there. And then Boston, Massachusetts as well, May the 6th, 1983. So it's like a bit of a collection there of various recordings there. But yeah, it works really, really well. Great album that. I do enjoy that one a lot. Okay, so that's Red covered off. So yeah, not that many Reds really, to be honest. I didn't know what to expect as to how many Reds would actually be in there when I started digging through the collection, but that's what I've got currently. So if you've got any other Reds in your collection that you want to make me aware of, maybe recommend them. Any glaring omissions, pop them in the comments. Okay, so I've only got the one yellow. And again, no prizes here for guessing which one. I think you probably all got sight of it there when I had to do a bit of swift rearranging of my pile to make sure that everything was going to be in sequence. So I'll just get right on with it and talk about it. So I'm actually showing this one a little ahead of time, and what I mean by that is at the time of recording, my birthday is actually coming up very soon, and because I'm going to be scheduling this video to go out later than the time I've recorded it at. So this has actually been bought for me as a birthday present from my sister, which was extremely kind of her. She knows I've been after it now for a good while. It's a lovely pressing of it. It's a Portuguese pressing, and it's an album that I've wanted in the collection now for a long time. It's been a bit of a glaring omission really, because I'm such a big fan of this artist, and was brought up on his music by my mum, and I don't think my dad was too much of a fan in kind of the grand scheme of things, but my mum absolutely adores this artist and still does. So thanks to my little sister here for this one for my birthday present. I promised her I won't give my copy of it a spin until after the big days occurred. But coming up now for Yellow, we've got, of course, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road by Elton John. There we go. Look at that. Lovely illustration there by Ian Beck. It's credited there in the bottom right hand corner. 1973 released this one when the album came out, and I'll just see if I can hold everything up and get it all into shot for you. So there we have all those illustrations there as well. Let's see if I can do it justice and get everything in. Might even have to stand up a bit for that one. There we go. Okay. Try and scan it along. Picture there of Davy Johnston, Elton John. Try and get everybody in. Bernie, of course, as well on the lyrical duty. There we go. And then, whoops, just close it over. That's all. Excuse me, all in good order. And tip it a bit because of the ring light. You can see the track listings as well. There we go. Excuse me, a little bit. Nose is a little bit bunged up at the moment, so I do apologise if any excess noise is coming through there. I do apologise for that. Okay. Oh yeah, and let's try and open it up as well this way. So if you bear with me again, let's see if we can do this here. So take that record out there. There we go. This is so good to show off. There we go. Fold it back. Look at that. That's some spread, isn't it? How that's been put together. Great stuff. Truly superb, that. Great packaging. Just the way it's been put together like that. Lovely. So hopefully that's all in. Okay, so let me pop everything back and then I'll have a little chat about it. Right. So I like to keep everything together, you see, while I'm doing this sort of thing. So I'll pop it down like that. Makes it easier for me to work with. There we go. So that's all in. Okay. And that flips back over there like that. That flips back over there. And I've managed to keep the plastic sleeve on it there as well. There you go. Not my first rodeo with all sorts of LP. Those are double LPs. And there's the back again. So yeah, let's get to the music. Is it Elton John's best album? Please let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think, if it is or it isn't. I do think it's certainly up there. I think many Elton fans would agree with that. It's just an unbelievably consistent recording. Side one has to be, I think, one of the greatest, not only side ones of probably Elton's entire career, but of any career of anybody. Every single track on that, Funeral for a Friend, Love Lies Bleeding, Candle in the Wind, which is my favourite of the side, and then Burning the Jets is just an unbelievable run. I absolutely adore, though, the title track on this album, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. That takes me right back to being a kid, listening to that song while my mum was doing a cleaning job at the doctor's surgery that we lived above when we were kids growing up. That'd be the soundtrack pretty much to her work. Just amazing. Just amazing to be listening to tunes like that, the likes of Queen and bands like that as well. Just amazing. Oh yeah, Saturday Night's Alright for Fighting as well on side 4. Amazing. But it's brilliant all the way through. It really is. I'm really looking forward to playing this one. I'm not going to break my promise though to my sister about it, because it's been so long since I played it through, and this will be its maiden spin. So really excited for that one, to get that onto the turntable. But I'm really pleased to be showing it. When I explained what I was doing with the colour series, and that I needed to have my yellow represented. It's the only yellow I've got in the collection as well. Then my sister very kindly understood that these things are important, and I was able to, get it on camera a little ahead of schedule. So yeah, that'll be getting played first over my birthday weekend, over those celebrations. So massively looking forward to that. Please do let me know what your favourite tracks are off Goodbye Yellow Brick Road as well. As I said, I do think side one in particular has to be mentioned, but there's just great tracks littered throughout. Lots of different musical stylings on here as well, in my opinion, which really lends itself to the quality of the album. It makes it such an enjoyable and an engaging listen. It is just an absolutely essential album of the early 1970s, and it has taken me a long time to get hold of it, but at least now I have got a copy that has got some sentimental value to it now as well, given that it was a birthday present. So there's Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. Okay, so we've done red and yellow, and now we're up to pink. Okay, so here's an album that I've been looking forward to showing again. This was a collection that I acquired at Christmas time from my family. Just very happy to own it, of course. It's a box set. So I'll show the box set off first, and then we'll get into the actual album. So the box set is Nick Drake's Fruit Tree. And as you can see here, it covers, or it includes, the 3 studio albums that he recorded during his lifetime. And then there is a collection of unreleased, or 10 previously unreleased tracks. It's a 14-track collection called Time of No Reply. And of course, the studio album that I'm referring to for the Colour series is Pink Moon, which came out in 1972. So let's just get that out of the box, and then we can talk a little bit about Pink Moon. It's going to be a bit of crackling here, I'm afraid, just while I get a hold of it. I do like to keep this together because it's quite fragile. The records are actually housed in like these paper thin sleeves. They are replicas of, reproductions of the original artwork, but there was no way that I was going to just sort of have this out separate amongst the pile. I really want to keep these records. I mean, I look after all my records, but in particular that is very much always going to be staying inside its box until I can just do what I've done there and just carefully take it out and then place it back in. So here we go. So here's Pink Moon. And again, we're talking about colours on this series. Truly beautiful colours there being utilised. I absolutely adore that cover. Very surreal, in terms of its artwork and its execution. It's very image led in terms of, I think, visually it's like, its representations. Got here, obviously the pink moon there made of cheese. Got the rocket ship there as well. The American flag's been included. We've got the teacup. I don't actually know a great deal around, the concepts or the the sort of the origins of the artwork, and to my own detriment, I've never taken the time to actually research that. I'm just being completely honest, as I always am. But if anybody's got a story or any anecdotes or any information on the artwork, maybe the thinking behind it, then do let me know. I've just always been really taken in by it, and anything like that for me causes me to pause for thought, or for me to have my own kind of reflections or interpretations of what I'm looking at. That to me is what great art is all about. I know there will be a distinct reason for why that's been done that way, but I always feel that great art allows the person viewing it to take away their own experience of it. So I just think it's a really beautiful record, and it's housed in a very beautiful piece of packaging. So if I was to describe the album itself, I've already used the word beautiful. I would say it is a beautiful album, and it's very bleak. It's not an easy listen, I would say, from a lyrical point of view, and I think given the fact that Nick Drake was where he was in his life at that stage in terms of his mental health, and the fact that he'd already produced these two sublime albums that he, think he didn't feel were up to the standard that he was looking to achieve. They were not, I think, commercially impactful in the way that he wanted them to be. So we get here an artist who I think is just kind of laying everything out. And very sadly, from a studio album perspective, it was for the very last time. So it's a very short album for anybody who's never heard it before. Clocks in, I think, at about sort of 26, 27 minutes. It's very, very sparse in terms of instrumentation. It is literally just Nick and an acoustic guitar that is absolutely beautifully played throughout. I think there's one overdub on there. There's a piano overdub for the track Pink Moon, which is gorgeous, but it is just Nick playing a guitar with basically dead strings on it as well. It's got a very muted feel to it. The production is pretty much non-existent, because it's not really. We're not talking about some symphonic rock album here. This is a man and his guitar. But I think because it is so intimate in terms of how it's been put together, the way it's been laid down, and because there isn't so much going on in terms of, you haven't got sounds buzzing in from, speaker to speaker, or, you've not got all this overload of instrumentation or percussion or even a bass line or anything like that. Although, Nick is playing very complex guitar arrangements, which do give himself a rhythmic feel to his own playing, but it's just it's so candid in terms of how it's been laid down, and so bare, quite naked, really. That is that I think that's the ingredient of the album that keeps people coming back to it over the years, and his voice sounds just so perfect on it as well. It is a truly, truly astonishing album, certainly worthy of all the hype, all the credit and praise that's been lavished upon it. If you're not aware of it, it is an album that definitely lives up to its reputation and to its status. So favourite tracks. So I'll just show you there as well. So this is on the Hannibal label. This one, the box set. I think it's a US import, this one. Or side one. Yeah, Pink Moon, the title track, as I said, gorgeous. Please do listen to that if you don't know it. I've always loved Road. Love Road very, very much. But every track on here is has its place, and the whole thing needs to be experienced. Place to be as well. Probably my three favourite, I would say, are side one, but they're all essential. But then my favourite track, I think, on the whole record is Parasite, which is on side two. That's a stunner, absolute stunner, heartbreaking, to be honest. Some beautiful lyrical passages in that, truly, truly beautiful. From the Morning is just a very haunting, but a very, very, what we would use to describe From the Morning as a closing track. I wouldn't say it's uplifting, but there is just something very stark and very beautiful about it as a closer. I do think having it to finish the album was a very wise decision. And I do love Harvest Breed as well. That's only a minute long. It's like just a little a little sort of piece before it's the penultimate track, but very, very pretty as well. So yeah, Pink Moon, it's a stunner. It truly is one of the greatest albums of all time. Wouldn't be surprised for many people if it is their favourite album of all time. So I know that there's people tuning in to me regularly that are huge Nick Drake fans. So please do let me know anything and everything and anything that you wish to share or express about Pink Moon. I always love talking about music, and certainly about an artist like Nick Drake. Let me know what you think of what I had to share about Pink Moon from my own perspective. Okay, so we've got three pinks left, and then I will provide my customary thank you for being here, because I know your time and attention with my videos is always massively appreciated. It's never taken for granted, so I do hope that you've enjoyed very much what I've had to show thus far. Okay, so coming up now then, we've got a compilation album of a band that also have the colour pink in their name, and it isn't Pink Floyd. It's actually Pink Fairies. Great group. And it's a tricky one for me because I don't really know within the vinyl community, or just, I suppose, wider music appreciators. I don't see Pink Fairies coming up all that often on videos that I've watched. To me, they kind of seem like that they really go under the radar, and I'm not quite sure why, because everything I've heard of them, and granted it's not been much, but everything I have heard I've absolutely loved. They're really heavy in places. Quite psychedelic, quite bluesy, I'd say very alternative. They've got a really sort of a strange, almost eccentric bent to them, from a lyrical perspective, and, some of the album artwork. I've got the studio album, What a Bunch of Sweeties, in the collection, which is absolutely brilliant. But this here was my entry point to the Pink Fairies. So this was a record that I found at a record fair up in Dumfries in Galloway. Right down in Scotland, and I was talking to the chap who I bought it from. Become very good friends with him, still in contact with him to this day, and I had never heard of them. Actually, no, I'll tell a lie. I'd heard one song by them, which I remembered from a compilation that I've got here in the collection, and that song was called Do It. So as soon as I started talking to the chap who was selling the album about Do It, I thought, yeah, I know that one. But everything else I had no idea about, and he started talking to me about the track The Snake, and the way that he was describing it to me, I thought, right, I really need to listen to this. And then he was mentioning songs like Portobello Shuffle. These are all on here. Do It is on here as well, which is amazing. I think we spoke about I Went Up, I Went Down as well. So yeah, we just ended up having this really big natter about Pink Fairies, and I was really taken in by the front cover art as well. I just thought they look really cool, because I'm always taken in by good cover art, especially band shots like that. And if they're not a band that I'm aware of or know very little to nothing about, then usually I will be drawn in by a very cool looking photo. That was very, very much the case with the group, the Flaming Groovies. But anyway, I digress. So I've already mentioned musically what I think these guys are like. So yeah, sort of, late 60s, formed in 1969. So, operating through the 1970s. Sometimes I feel when I listen to them, they've got like a little bit of a sensational Alex Harvey type vibe to them. They have got that eccentricity, and they've got that ability to mix up their style musically. So I would really encourage you to please check out the Pink Fairies. I'll name a few tracks to get started with. Definitely please check out Do It. I would also mention Portobello Shuffle and The Snake. I think they're the three. They're all on side one, actually, to get you started. And then I Went Up, I Went Down off side two, I think, is brilliant as well. But if anybody's got this collection or has any other Pink Fairies albums that they wish to recommend here on the channel, then I would love people to get in touch. They're a UK group. Personnel listed on here, we've got Twink, Duncan Sanderson, Paul Rudolph, Russell Hunter, and Larry Wallace. They're the members listed on there. Yeah, it's even got Do It there, highlighted as featuring. So definitely a big track for the Pink Fairies. So yeah, great entry, I think, for Pink, and a great band that I hope to see more of in the future, really, people talking about them. And if I continue to collect any of their stuff in the future, I'll certainly be showing it on the channel. Okay, so we're up to the last Pink now. Oh no, we're not up to the last Pink. I'm getting ahead of myself. We've got two Pinks left. Yeah, I really need to stop being so giddy with these, because I actually missed, again, full disclosure for anybody who's not seen part 3 yet, Silver and Gold. Very sadly, I actually missed out one of my gold entries, and not only that, it's one of my favourite albums of its period. So thankfully I was able to rectify that, because I've spoken about that album before on another video, so I was able to point people to that video to get my thoughts on that record. But I don't want to be making that mistake here again, so everything's present and correct here, thankfully. So this is the penultimate pick for Pink, and then we'll get to the last one. Okay, so we've got a movie soundtrack coming up here now, actually. So it's various artists. It's a great film, one of my favourites. I think it came out in 1986, the film. Features my all-time favourite actor. So we'll get into it. Pretty in Pink. There you go. Now, my favourite actor of all time is not actually on that photograph. My favourite actor of all time is James Spader, and he plays the antagonist in this film, a high school drama by the name of Steph. It's a very villainous role in the high school setting. You can tell that Spader's having a lot of fun with the part, very gleeful sort of villain. Just very, very 1980s. I'm sure that for people of a certain age, a certain generation, that Pretty in Pink formed maybe some part of their teenage years, perhaps. The works, the films of John Hughes, the likes of 16 Candles and Some Kind of Wonderful, and let me think, Weird Science was one of John Hughes's, but that was obviously like a science fiction comedy. Trying to think of his more maybe serious ones, like the high school ones. Yeah, I think 16 Candles and Some Kind of Wonderful, Pretty in Pink were big ones, weren't they, really, of John Hughes's. Oh, of course, Ferris Bueller's Day Off as well, of course, can't forget that. That's got a great soundtrack, actually, as well, but I don't have that one in the collection. So, yeah, so Andrew McCarthy, John Cryer, and, of course, Molly Ringwald are the stars of the piece there. So, yeah, let's get to the music. I am a music channel, after all, a vinyl channel, but, I do love my films as well. So yeah, it's a really nice collection, this one. Bit of new wave on here. I'll just show the back first and we'll get through them. So kicking us off on side 1, we've got If You Leave by OMD, which is actually the closing song on the film, played at the prom. Let me see what else we've got on here as well. Left of Centre, it's by Suzanne Vega, featuring Joe Jackson on piano. That is a good one. Pretty in Pink, of course. I mean, I've got to mention that, haven't I? The title track by the Psychedelic Furs. What a great song, brilliant song. That pops up on their Talk 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 album. Yeah, great song. Gives the film its title. Yeah, Psychedelic Furs, great band, love them to bits. So they pretty much encapsulate the whole essence of the film. Gave them a huge hit as well off the back of the film, the success of it. So yeah, I'd say they're the 3 highlights of side 1 would be If You Leave, Left of Centre, and Pretty in Pink. Then on side 2 we get Shell Shock by New Order, which is just an absolute classic, one of my favourite ever New Order songs. We get one of my I should say favourite ever Echo The Bunnymen songs, which is Bring On The Dancing Horses. Love that song so much. And then to finish this collection, we get that very beautiful, very mournful, one of the shortest tracks by the Smiths, up there anyway. Please, Please, Please Let Me Get What I Want. Gorgeous song there, great composition by Morrissey and Marr to close this collection off. There we go. So that is Pretty in Pink, various artists. And let me know if you do like that film, and let me know if you do agree with me about James Spader. He is my all-time favourite actor, and my favourite ever British actor is Gary Oldman. Okay. So now we're on our last Pink, and then we've got a couple of greens to finish, and then the video's all done and dusted. So this one here is it's certainly one of my all-time favourite albums. For me, it was the greatest album of the year that it came out. It's one of the greatest albums of the decade that it came out. I can't speak highly enough about it. It just continues to get better and better for me. It was an album that, at a particularly, should we say, emotional time in my life many years ago, became a go-to album for me. I drew a lot of strength from it. It was a record that just, for whatever reason, provided comfort and something that I just connected with on a very deep level and continue to have nothing but love and admiration for it to this very day. And that record came out in 1977. We've got Pink Flag by Wire, UK punk group, and I've mentioned it before on the channel, but the evolution of this group is just completely off the scale. The speed, the acceleration, velocity, how many other words to use for the same meaning? Ridiculous, really, there, wasn't I? But yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. Just the evolution of them was just incredible. Ideas for days, just music completely spewing out of them. Just anything and everything that I feel was coming into that quartet's brain. You know, their mind hive, whatever you want to call it, whatever was going on there was just awesome. And for it to be captured, you know, in musical form like that is just quite something. I mean, they're a very arty group, but also a very, very intelligent. I mean, you know, a lot of art rock is very intelligent, post-punk, really thought-provoking lyrics, but I really feel that they're just operating on a really, really amazing level, these guys. So we've got Colin Newman, Robert Gotobed, Graham Lewis, and Bruce Gilbert. So I'll just show you the photographs there of them as well. There you go. And there's the track listings as well. And as you can see, there's a lot of tracks. So some of these tracks are a matter of seconds. Some of them go on for a few minutes. Very stop-starty. You don't even know when they're going to end, if they'll end. Keeps you on your toes in that way. Exciting. Rushes past you. All I'm going to say is please do listen to Pink Flag if you've never heard it. I will pick out a few tracks, you know, just in isolation, because that is what I do. But yeah, this is one that you need to listen to from beginning to end. And if you do that, based upon my recommendation, let me know how you get on with it, you know, for better, for worse. But for me, this is an all-time fave, without any doubt. So I love everything on it, but Three Girl Rumba is an easy one to highlight just because it's one of the more, should we say, catchier tunes on there. It's got a riff that was famously recycled by Elastica in the 1990s. They got into a bit of bother for doing that. It then sort of segues perfectly into Ex-Lion Tamer, which is a brilliant song, very nostalgic. Feel to that one, where you've got Colin Newman singing about, you know, Batman and Robin and the Lone Ranger and stuff, and Tonto. So, you know, I think harking back to sort of watching old TV shows with his plate of fish fingers in a line, there's just a real, I feel like there's a real emotion to that one. Surgeon's Girl's brilliant. Pink Flag, the title track, is superb as well. Start to Move is a real groover. You start to move to it and then it ends pretty much. Fragile on side 2 is fantastic. 12XU to finish is brilliant as well. Mannequin, Feeling Called Love. Honestly, utterly amazing album, that. And that came out in a very, very strong year as well, 1977. But for me, it is the best of that year, and that is some year. Only my opinion, of course, but Pink Flag, Wire, amazing. Please do listen to it. There you go. Okie doke. Right, so at this point then, I shall say thank you very, very much. If you're still here, if you're still with me watching, it means the world. It really does, as does your interactions with me, whether it be through liking the videos, submitting a comment, getting into a discussion with me, subscribing to the channel, whatever it is that, you know, you're doing to support me. It really, really means a lot. So as I've mentioned before, I've loved doing this series for Jesse, and we've still got another part to come. Still got a couple of records to show yet. So if you're here, your time and attention is just fantastic. So thank you very much for that. Okay, so we've got a couple of crackers to finish us off here. We're moving over to the 1960s now, 1968 to be exact. One of my favourite groups of that era. Love these guys very, very much. This was a concept album, and it is a record that musically goes in lots of different directions stylistically, but it works really well. Get a bit of psychedelic music on there, blues, music hall, folk, all kinds of stuff really. It's a really wonderful achievement, and then it went on to influence a lot of the groups that were operating in the Britpop era back in the day when I was a teenager, the likes of Blur especially and Oasis and groups like that, were taking a lot of influence from this album and this group. So I'm sure you've already guessed it by now, given that we're up to the colour green. We've got the Kinks and the Kinks of the Village Green Preservation Society. So as you'd expect, with the use of the word preservation in the title of the album, this is an album about, in my opinion, it's very nostalgic. It's almost like, sort of almost like a bit of an appeal, if you will, to trying to, I suppose, recall or preserve bygone times, or maybe traditions and customs, which I think is where the concept comes into it. I think it's trying to communicate the fact that, that there are things in life and society that perhaps, we should try to keep a hold of for whatever reason that happens to be. And I think the whole idea of the village green, is something that's certainly here in the UK, us who live in villages or have awareness of that type of, landmark within a local area, that I think lends itself very well that, you'll have communities coming together to fund the upkeep of the local green, or, facilities, that type of thing that are associated with it, local groups, that type of thing. So I do think there's a really sort of human, emotional element to this record in terms of its concept, and from a musical point of view, as I mentioned, it is really rewarding just because it kind of goes all over the place stylistically, but yet still has a really consistent aesthetic to it as well. So it doesn't sound jarring in any way, it just sounds really engaging. So there's the Kinks, and you can see on the gatefold. So this is quite a newish repress. This one, it's not obviously not an original from '68, but it's a nice pressing. There we go. So let's get into some of the favourite tracks here. Well, I will mention first of all Picture Book, just because it's a great song, but that kind of took on a little bit more notoriety in slightly more recent times, because that even this song's getting on a bit now, I suppose. But Green Day, that pop punk group, who I liked a lot when I was early teens. They did a song called Warning, which I can't remember exactly what year it came out. I think it was early 2000s, I think. Might be mistaken. I remember it being out at the time, obviously, but I just can't remember the year off the top of my head. And that track, Warning, was a huge hit. The album was a huge hit. But the song itself was pretty much a carbon copy of Picture Book by the Kinks. And Green Day were a group who I would never have thought or would have expected there to be any kind of a musical connection or correlation or similarity or anything with the Kinks, but it just shows you that certainly Green Day were taking cues from the Kinks as well. I mentioned the Britpop bands before, who were a lot more obvious with it, but the Green Day were very obvious with Picture Book, taking that for their track Warning. So yeah, if anybody's not heard Warning, give it a listen and see if you can notice the similarity of the guitar line with Picture Book. But yeah, it's a great song, that Picture Book. I've always enjoyed it a lot. The Village Green Preservation Society, side one, track one, just sets the scene for the album. Do You Remember Walter I like a lot as well. Sitting by the Riverside is beautiful. I've always enjoyed that one. Last of the Steam Powered Trains, very evocative of English greens and villages, rolling hills, that sort of thing. Animal Farm on side two is definitely worth a mention. Phenomenal Cat, yeah, it's pretty good fun, that one. Wicked Annabella is excellent. Oh yeah, it's very difficult to only pick a few off this one, just because of the ebb and the flow of it. Got Michael Charles Avery on drums, giving all the full names here: Peter Alexander Greenlaw Quaife on bass. David Russell Gordon Davis, of course, Dave Davis there, guitarist and singer, and then Raymond Douglas Davis, Ray Davis, of course, on a guitar, keyboard, and singing as well. And then they had Brian Humphries and Alan McKenzie contributed to the record as well. So yeah, great album, that one, from 1968. So yeah, if you like your psychedelic concepts, it's not just purely psychedelic, but very pastoral, very English, quintessentially English recording. As I say, definitely went on to inspire the likes of Blur groups like that, Oasis as well, and probably those two I'd say probably the most significantly I can think off the top of my head. Maybe a couple of others. Maybe Divine Comedy were taking some cues from the Kinks as well. But yeah, please do check that album out if you've never heard it. It's a lovely listen, that one. It's great for a sunny day, that one. A sunny afternoon, in fact, but that's not on this one. Yeah, great album. Okay, now to finish off, we're going over to a group from Athens, Georgia. I'm sure, I mean, you must have been thinking, well, he's got to have this one, surely, for Green. I have got it, thankfully. It's Green by R.E.M. Athens, Georgia. One of my favourite groups ever. So this was their big label debut, wasn't it? This is when they signed to Warner Brothers, I believe, this one. So, they'd been on IRS and stuff, and, basically cemented this reputation as being one of the great independent alternative groups on the circuit. Then they signed with Warner's. So yeah, 1988, this one. It's a really strong album. Not my favourite R.E.M. record, but it's very, very strong. So we'll show you the insides here and stuff as well. So just make sure that I've not got the glare on it. There we go. That tiny little photo of the group at the bottom there. Got Buck, Stipe. No, we haven't. Berry, Stipe, Buck, and Mills. Okay, there we go. Tiny. Not much bigger than a postage stamp, that one. Produced and engineered and mixed by Scott Litt and R.E.M. No, produced and engineered Scott Litt and R.E.M. mixed by Scott Litt and Jay Healy. Just want to make sure I get the credits correct there. Okay, so yeah, Green. What are my thoughts on Green? So I do enjoy it. I don't play it all that much, but I've got good memories of it from when I was a lot younger, when I was in a really full-on R.E.M. phase. I mean, that phase never completely left me. It's just that all the groups started to vie for my attention at a certain point in my life. But there are some really good songs on here, very poppy. I mean, I think it was a good transition. I think it was quite expertly, quite deftly done in that they were making the transition, from the indie alternative kind of crowd and scene and label to, basically joining this absolute, this gargantuan labeling in, something like Warner's. So, I mean, I think the move in which they did that, I think they were able, although some people may tell me different in the comments who were there and remember it, I do think they managed to keep hold of that core fan base. Maybe they lost people a little later on, arguably, maybe, the likes of perhaps from Out of Time onwards, automatically the people, maybe some of that older fan base started to drift. But do let me know if you feel that I'm making a fair point there about maybe they were still there for Green. I think that they were, but just from what I've read and my own observations and my own opinion. So Pop Song 89 kicks us off. That is, just double check. Something I wanted to mention about that. That was it, yeah. Not lying. Yeah, maybe I was thinking it had a credit to them. So Pop Song 89 for me sounds a lot like Hello, I Love You by The Doors. It kind of feels to me like it's almost been written in response to that song. I think I've mentioned this on the channel before, actually. I'm pretty sure I have. And yeah, it's definitely very, very similar in its lyrical stylings. Although Michael Stipe is, talking about the weather and the government in this track, it's not this sort of, I suppose, like this come on, if you will, from, in the way that Jim Morrison did it with The Doors. But it's a great song, Pop Song 89. It's very peppy. It gets the album off to a good start. Get Up as well kind of continues that vein, very poppy as well, but engaging. Always loved Mike Mills' backing vocals for R.E.M. I've always felt like he's been their secret weapon over the years. Just an incredible musician. He can be utilised in so many ways, can Mike Mills, and he was. Stand is always one that I've loved a lot. Great chorus to that one. Another sing-alongy number. I'd say though probably my two favourites on it. They're a little bit darker. I would mention though, please do check out those three I've just mentioned, Pop Song 89, Get Up and Stand. But the two that I really do want to mention, I love these two in particular, is Orange Crush, great song, love that one. Got a real grit to that one, quite, just something quite, again, off kilter, did well for the band, do believe it was a single. Great vocal performance on it by Michael Stipe, but then I also love Turn You Inside Out as well. That's a really good song. Again, that's got Mike Mills singing pretty prominently on that one, along with Michael Stipe. Brilliant, love it. Quite a bit slower and a bit rockier, a bit heavier than some of the other tracks on this album. So it's got a nice balance, that one, of sort of more poppier numbers, slightly more. Well, I mean, they had to go in a more commercial direction, I suppose, given that they chose to, to sign on to Warner Brothers. But there is still enough of an edge to it, I think, at this stage, that they were able to maybe sort of satisfy the indie I suppose roots of what they once were. So yeah, that's Green by R.E.M. So anyone who's got any extra thoughts on that one, please do share them with me. I would love it if you did. Okay, and then that brings me to the end of part 4 of my series. I can't believe that I'm already at this point already. So thank you very much indeed for tuning in to me today. I really do appreciate it. If you've enjoyed what I've done, if you like this sort of content and you want to maybe check out other stuff I've done on the Vinyl Sanctuary and join me in taking refuge in records, then please do consider giving this video a like. It would mean a lot if you did. And perhaps as well you'd like to subscribe to the channel too. If you did, that would be wonderful. And please do remember to click the notification bell, and that will keep you up to date of any future videos that I've got landing. So I know these videos do tend to go on for a while, so as I've mentioned before, having you here for the duration, giving me your time and attention is always really valued. I do not take that for granted. Okay, so I'll just give you a quick overview of what I've got coming up next on the channel, and then I'll wrap it up. So yeah, I have got part 5 left to do, and that will be the final part of the series of all my colours. And as I said, in keeping with the song Sing a Rainbow, we've just done their red, yellow, pink and green. So we've now got, coming up at the end, we've got purple, orange and blue. So they will be the 3 colours to finish us off for all my colours. But before I get to that final part, there will be a couple of birthday related videos I'm planning to do. So a bit of a heads up, I have acquired quite a bit of vinyl for my birthday. With Goodbye Yellow Brick Road there being shown there, being one of them, but there's quite a lot of others as well. They're gifts that have come in from family members. One of my clients as well, very kindly, has sorted me out with a little bit of money to get records. My wife as well has been amazing getting me some records. So there's definitely going to be at least, I think, probably two videos I'm going to be showing that will be related to birthday acquisitions. So they're not job lots or anything like that, but they are records that have been acquired into the collection just in celebration of my birthday, which I'm really excited about. And I'm also going to be going out vinyl hunting on my birthday itself. So I will be going to a record fair. I won't reveal the location just yet, just so that it creates a little bit of anticipation for where I'm going to be going to. But it won't be in my neck of the woods. I am going to be traveling out somewhere for that. And of course, anything that I pick up at that record fair, I will be creating a video on that as well, and that will no doubt be added to my vinyl hunting playlist here on the channel. So once I've got my birthday stuff done and dusted, I will return, of course, to part 5 just to finish this series off. Then I'll start thinking about what's to come next. So you've got a bit of time now, everybody, if you want to play along, if you want to maybe have a think about your red, yellow, pinks and greens for this video, pop them in the description. Sorry, no, not in the description. Pop them into the comments. And if you want to have a think about your albums for purple, orange and blue, maybe you've got an idea already of some of the ones I'll have. That's a big part, that one, by the way. I think there's about maybe 18 or 19 albums in that, so that'll be a big one. But yeah, you have a think about your purple, oranges and blue as well, but don't reveal them just yet. Save them for when part 5 lands. Okay, so that's me all done now. And until next time, bye for now.